with me on this. I guess the best place to begin would be at the beginning. I started using drugs at about the age of 12 or 13. I got involved with methamphetamines and everything else at that age. It really came to destroy me, and I always thought it was a good time. I always thought I was having fun. But they come out with all these new drugs and all these other things that just recently came out, and I got really addicted to a drug that just came out called bath salt, and it wrecked me. That's why you see me standing up here with one leg right now. I was in Terre Haute and had a pretty good sized amount of it on me. I let the drugs kind of run me, and I got real paranoid and thought it was a good idea to shoot 1.5 grams. Killed the circulation in my leg. Went to regional hospital. They told me there that I wouldn't make it through the night. That they'd be surprised if I was alive when the helicopter landed in Indianapolis. By the grace of God, I'm still here today. They told me I'd have permanent liver damage, I'd have permanent brain damage, I'd have at least 3 or 4 months stay in the hospital. I have no permanent liver damage, I have no permanent brain damage, and I was out of the hospital in 3 weeks. When I first got to regional, my leg had swollen up about that big around from the knee down, and it was solid yellow. It was hard as a rock. When I got to the hospital, the doctors immediately pulled me out of the car and yelled, "Get the emergency crew ready, stat. This man's got no circulation in his lower extremity." They took me in the hospital, and as soon as they got me on the gurney, the first thing they said to me is, "We're going to have to take your leg." That was a hard thing. That was a tough pill to swallow. Told them they ain't taking my leg. I said, "Well, it's either you give up the leg or it's going to kill you." So I did what I had to do. I had to give up the leg. The first 4 days at Eskenazi in Indianapolis, they kept me sedated. I had a port coming out the side of my neck because after I'd done that, I shot up all them drugs at once. It was just too much for my body to handle, and I passed out. My leg was tucked up underneath me for over 24 hours, and the leg just died, and the muscle just started deteriorating. My kidneys couldn't handle it. I had complete kidney failure, 100% shutdown. That's why I had that port coming out of my neck. They had me on kidney dialysis 24 hours a day. For the first 4 days I was there, they had to keep me sedated because it was just too much of a risk for me to be awake and moving with that in my neck. When they finally let me up, they took it out of my neck and they put another port where that little scar is right there. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday of every week, I had to go downstairs from my room in the hospital to the dialysis room, and I had to have 4 hours of dialysis 3 days a week. I mean, it's not fun. It just ruined everything, but I can sit here and honestly say I'm thankful the only thing I lost was my leg. Because my good friend of mine, a family friend, Patrick Gardner, if it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't be here. Because I never thought to dial 911. I never was one that would call something like that for help. I called my friends, I called people that I thought cared about me. Nowadays, there's very few people that I call my friends that are still there. I don't get many people that come to see me anymore. This guy right here is one of them. Levi is one of the only friends I have that still sticks by me. He stays clean. He's not touching anything anymore. I'm just as proud as him as I am of everybody who's been able to overcome this addiction. Or addiction period. It's not something that's easy to overcome. So I'm very proud of him where he's at today, and I'm glad to be able to still call him a friend. When they took the leg and lifelined me from regional, they just didn't know what to do at regional. So when they cut the leg off, they didn't know what to do after that. So when they put me on the helicopter, the wound was still open. I had a bone sticking about that far out of it still because they didn't know what they were doing. And they said I didn't know if I'd make it when the helicopter landed, but like I said, somehow I pulled through, and I'm still here today. And it's not by chance. It's just not something that was just luck of the draw. God has a bigger plan for me, and I can see it now. If He didn't, I wouldn't be here right now, and I wouldn't be making this. I wouldn't be saying my testimony. You know, and it's ever since this happened, I've had a whole new perspective on everything. I no longer look at drugs as a good time or evil. It's done nothing but destroy me, my family. They pretty much gave up on me and disowned me for a long time. That's why none of them really talk to me anymore, because I cared more for the drugs than I did about them. It's one of the biggest regrets I have today. I lost my grandma when I was in jail. She was the one that raised me, and it was all boiled down to drugs. This is why I was in there when she passed away. So it's one of the biggest regrets I have is ever getting involved with it and just destroying the bridges I had with my family, because those bridges are not easy to repair. I mean, they can be repaired, but it's not going to be something that's going to happen soon for me. I've done a lot of damage over the years. I'm 27, and I've done 14, 15 years worth of damage to it. And I think being only 27 and 15 years worth of damage, that's quite a bit. I hope one day I'll be able to repair them bridges. You know, my family means a lot to me, and I'm hoping one day we can all get back together and everything can work out to the best. It's been a rough road of recovery. It's been real painful. It's still real painful. It's not easy. It's not easy putting weight on my foot, but hey, if what I have to say means anything to anybody and it helps anybody out, then I'll deal with it. And I'll be happy to stand here and deal with it. It won't bother me one bit. If my testimony helps anybody, then the pain was worth it. All I know is I wish I would have listened to a lot of people a long time ago. I wish I wouldn't have had to push it so far. You know, people told me, something bad's going to happen if you keep going down the road you're going. I see stuff like this happen to other people on TV. I see stuff like this happen to other people around here, around where I live. Never thought that ain't going to happen to me. That was my thought. Nothing like that's going to happen to me. You know, it just can't happen to me. Well, kind of had a new perspective on that when I woke up and didn't have a leg. You know, it kind of, makes you realize it can happen to you. And, it's like I said, I wish I would have opened my eyes a little bit earlier. Because some people just ain't going to listen until they hit the bottom. And I don't think I can hit much more of a bottom than this. It's really opened my eyes. And I'm glad to be here today, and I'm glad that Billy gave me the chance to come up here and give my testimony to everybody. So like I said, this is my first time doing something like this. And, I've known Billy and his family for a lot of years. And, it's one person I'm glad I got to come to his church and speak first. I have nothing but respect for that man. I know I've heard and I know where he's came from. And I'm proud to see where he's at today. He's came a long, long way. I'm proud of you, Billy. I'm proud of you, Levi. I'm proud of everybody here for being here today. I'm glad I got the chance to get up here and share what I had to share. That's about all I got to say today, guys. And like I said, I appreciate you giving me the time to come up here and share my testimony. I love each and every one of you. Thank you. Let's give all